Hi, I'm Brennan. Thanks for being here for this part of my creative journey. I still don't quite know what I'm going to do today. I feel like I've been having that problem a lot. I mean, I just started this channel and I thought for sure it'd take me forever to run out of ideas, and I could keep a journal of ideas. But at the same time, a lot of it feels, I don't know, not always sure exactly what I want to talk about with any particular video. I could continue on this journey with my own revision of the generic universal role-playing system. I could give my own thoughts on the D&D, what do they call the D&D expanded universe, or whatever they want to call it, which is going to be World of Warcraft, Star Wars, etc. My favorite RPG mechanics. In fact, the specific one I'm thinking of is success rolls. What does failure mean at your table? Particularly thinking it is success is basically free, is it guaranteed? Or can your character fail at even mundane things, and what consequences that bring? So this leads me to a conversation about consequences for failure / making failure less frustrating. We could talk about the Masters of the Universe. I understand nobody really went to see it at the box office, and I don't blame anybody. I didn't see it. I wasn't really a big fan of He-Man growing up. But then my wife and I, we finally watched the movie in the past week or two, and I adore it. I thought it was so much fun. Again, I'm not really deep into the whole He-Man universe. I don't know any of the characters. But I thought the movie itself was a lot of fun, and gosh, I sure would like to see more of it. I loved Skeletor's performance. Oh my word, I need to see more of that. I need more of that in my life. In storytelling, I could share elements of my book as I work on my book, so talk about my novel or my strategy board game. If I did talk about the GURPS revision, what would I talk about? What would I even say? You're watching some of the creative process today. That's what today's video is. You're watching some of my creative processes. I really don't have the time to work through a lot of these things elsewhere, except for daydreaming when I'm at work. And usually when I'm daydreaming, I'm not daydreaming about these videos, I'm daydreaming about my projects. And I want to share my project with videos, but I don't want to share my project with you entirely in a video because I want to monetize my projects, and if I just share all of the details and as it's created, I have a fear, maybe not realistic fear, of someone swiping in and stealing it, because I don't bet that's the way some people are. So I don't know. I have a fear there where I don't want to share, but I do want to share. I don't know. How do other YouTubers work through stuff like that, and except for finishing the project and then sharing their process with it? I don't know, these projects take a really long time to finish, especially since one person working on it some of the time. So I don't know. Anyway, but I'm happy to share like the GURPS revision, because that's not something I think I could ever monetize. I don't own GURPS. I just love the system, and I'd like to explore it in a way that I don't know, maybe some people might find interesting, and maybe in a way that may help revitalize its entry back into a lot of more mainstream gaming. I think GURPS has a lot of potential. I will say that the D&D, what D&D is doing now, with including Star Wars especially, that I think is very cool, is D&D already has the theoretical potential to be genre agnostic. it's just a system, a role-playing system that everything else, the swords and bows and stuff like that, is all just set dressing. It's all just props. But the system itself is applicable kind of across the board, and that's true of most role-playing systems. And I'm very excited because this provides the developers of D&D, Wizards of the Coast, this gives them an opportunity to make their system even more generic. Because that's one of the main things I love about the GURPS universal, GURPS, the generic universal role-playing system. The challenge is that D&D, especially the way monster creation goes, it's really hard to come up with a monster on the fly in D&D, at least compared to something like GURPS. It is so hard. Because with GURPS, at least you can make stuff up and you have some notion of like what their strength is and how that's going to relate back, or if you use them a certain way that infers a certain like strength value or dexterity. And so you can just play a monster and say, I want it to have a move of 6 and I want it to deal this much damage, so therefore I'm going to infer that it actually had a strength of 18 or whatever. Okay, that's very easy to do in GURPS. In D&D though, like, a strength of 16 doesn't really mean anything. And same as AC. How do I choose the right AC for my party? How do I choose the right damage amount and damage, the right attack number? How do I choose its proficiency value? What is its challenge rating? I don't know, that just the way that D&D has that constructed, I think, makes it difficult to homebrew monsters in D&D. It's also difficult, I think, to homebrew classes or species in D&D as well, because you're playing the game of like, well, I'm adding in a feat or I'm adding in a class feature, and I still want the game to be playable without a whole crap ton of playtesting. In D&D, I don't know how you do that. In GURPS, it's very easy and flexible. Every role-playing system is kind of not super well balanced anyway, but GURPS at least makes a really, really good attempt at taking all those factors into play and then finding a way to balance them, to give them a value. So you have some notion of how strong something is or how strong a creature is overall. But again, in D&D, like when you're creating a new class, how do I know that this feature belongs at level 3 versus level 7? Except just going by vibes, right? Just going by feel. And maybe that's the correct way to do it in D&D, but D&D is close enough to a hard role-playing system that I feel like going by vibes is not quite the intention there. So, anyway. Yeah, but what would I talk about with the GURPS revision? I'd like to see some revise the skill system, so revised skills. Also revised spells. That spell system sure needs an overhaul. Armor system. Because I like what low-tech does, and it just says, no, we're just going to give you materials and what their damage resistance and values and properties are, and then you can just scale how much they cost in weight based on their hit location. And I actually really, really like that. It takes away a lot of that work of fiddling through. It's like, wow, I want a complete set of armor. What does that look like, and how much does that cost? Now you can just say, I want chainmail armor, and I want it on these hit locations, rather than looking through each list and saying, where's the chainmail? Where's the chainmail? Why isn't the chainmail in this section? What's the chain equivalent for gloves? It just takes all that guesswork away, and it says, I don't care what you call that piece of armor. It could be a hauberk. That's fine. You can call it whatever you want. The fact is that it's a chain and it covers the torso. I could talk more about my campaign or a setting manual. I could do more drawings. I want it to be meaningful in some way, whether it's just getting some glimpse into what the creative process looks like for someone. I really hope that if anybody comes to these videos and they see it and they're like, they see the struggle, I hope it gives them hope and confidence that it's okay if they're struggling too. You don't need to despair if your creative process is very long and scattered. You should create anyway. Do something that's intrinsically meaningful to you. And again, this is part of the creative journey. It's part of the creative process. And yeah, a large part of this channel so far is just showing that really rough and raw creative process. Anyway, and I hope that helps some people to see that and to appreciate it, that we are creatives even if we're having a hard time finding space to create and finding an outlet for our creation. Anyways, that's also why at the end of every one of these videos I say, how are your creative projects going? Let me know in the comments. I hope people can feel comfortable sharing what they're working on, not in a way to expose their work, but in a way to inspire other people with the idea that there's lots of creative people out there and there's a million half-baked projects. And I think you can generate some excitement around that idea that we're all really just kind of dealing with scraps of paper and a Carmine Bic, I don't know how you pronounce it, BIC pen. And we're making it happen in our own small way. Just trying to work my way through it and hopefully see if there's other like-minded or people or people in the same sort of spirit that I hope I'm giving them hope and reminding them that it's okay to be rough and raw in your creations, that you are where you are, and everyone's creative journey is different, and that's perfectly okay. Anyway, I'm rooting for you. Hope everything's going well on your creative journey. Let me know how it's going in the comments, and have yourself a lovely day.